Premier League champions 2016, the amazing Leicester City.
That was Leicester City 10 years ago. But a lot has also happened since then. They've won the FA Cup. They've also been fighting for Europe for a few years. But then, all of a sudden, they got relegated, financial issues, and they are now stuck back in the Championship. Which is why we are here today to rebuild Leicester City and get them back to the glory days. Now, to make it more realistic, I have started from live point, and we were up to the game at QPR away, which we obviously lost 4-1 in real life. So let's get straight into it. Now, this is the man that the rebuild is mainly going to be around. Obviously, great youngster, quality player, full of experience. But we've also got other experienced youngsters in there, like Lewis Page, who we will be building up to become our main central attacking midfielder and make him one of the greatest to ever play at the club, as well as El Khanous, who can come back and we can get money off. Now, obviously, El Khanous is currently out on loan at Stuttgart, but by the way things are going, I can't see him playing for us ever again. This season, Leicester's main players obviously have been the loanee Jordan James and Abdul Fattawi. Hopefully, we can try and get James on a permanent transfer, as it will help the club in the future. And obviously, everyone would love to see Jordan James signed for Leicester on a permanent. Now, obviously, I'm going to be wanting to keep the career mode realistic, so we're going to make everything as realistic as possible. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into the first game in charge. So the first game here is against QPR away. As you know, we lost 4-1 in real life, but we almost got off to a really quick start here with Deco-Dovere having a shot that smashes off of the crossbar, coming so close. And literally minutes later, Mavididi gets the ball, plays it into Jordan James, who smashes it into the back of the net to get our first goal in charge. And the first goal of this Leicester City career. And it was a beautifully well-worked goal. And the fans are absolutely buzzing as we take the lead here away at QPR and go 1-0 up. And thanks to that goal, we went into the break 1-0 up. So all things were looking up and positive. In the second half, we came close again with Vestergaard smashing a header just off of the crossbar, which also led to a QPR player getting injured in the process. Then Bobby plays a beautiful ball out wide to Mavididi, who then cuts it back across to Aaron Ramsey, who's in off the bench, get his second goal in a Leicester shirt and proving why he should be a starter in this squad. Then not many minutes later, we get another chance with Mavididi whipping it in, Reed header, easy save, but Abdul's there to snatch up the rebound and put us 3-0 up and hopefully give us a comfortable win for our first game in charge. And then moments later after that, Jakob comes up with an absolutely outstanding save to keep himself with a clean sheet. But sadly, many minutes later, they do get a goal back to make it 3-1 after a powerful header from a corner. But sadly, there wasn't enough time for him to be able to get any more as we take our first game as a dub with a 3-1 victory over QPR. With our next game being at Watford at home. We made a few changes, just putting Chowdhury in there to give him a little bit of a start and a heads up going into the rest of the season. So we will be rotating the squad every few games so everyone gets a chance and can prove themselves. Now, as you know, this game was another loss in real life as we lost 2-1 at home to Watford on Boxing Day. But the players this time were willing and wanting to make a difference and change that. But it was a disaster start as 10 minutes in, they get a penalty after a soft tackle by Skip. But sadly, Loser steps up and puts it away to put them 1-0 up. But then moments later, it goes from bad to worse for Leicester as Barr scores again to make it 2-0 to Watford. Not long before half-time, we do get a lucky bounce that falls and which we play across to Bobby Deco-Dovere to get a scrappy goal and get back into the game. Then on the half-time mark, Mavididi goes through and he puts it wide. After a horror start he's had to this season, that is not what he needed. As we go into the break, 2-1 down at home to Watford. It is not what Leicester would have wanted. Now, we do make some changes at half-time, bringing Thomas and Page on to replace James and Mavididi to hopefully get something out of this game. But straight away into the second half, Watford get given a penalty for handball as Loser steps up again and puts it straight back into the back of net to get his second of the game. And Leicester to be 3-1 down. It almost went from bad to worse for Leicester as they went through again with Barr, who smashes it off of the crossbar to keep it 3-1. We get away with it. Daka should be putting that away to make it 3-2 and give us a chance of getting back into it. Eventually, we do have the ball in the back of the net from Silko Thomas, but he's given a free kick for handball, which I thought was soft. But then Fatawi's shot gets blocked, which falls to James, which allows us to get a goal to get back in it. But would it be enough for a time to get an equaliser? Sadly not, as Leicester lose their first game 3-2 at home to Watford, which is a poor result, and we'll need to bounce back straight away against Derby at home as we make some more changes, starting Ayew in this game to give him a run out. And that was it as we go into Derby at home, which is obviously an East Midlands rivalry, which obviously yet again we won 2-1 in real life with Jordan, James and Decordover-Reid being the scorers. Aggie man almost put Derby 1-0 up within minutes, which was almost a horror start. And then Mavididi is through on goal again, and he's dragged it wide again, which is poor from him. He needs to start scoring to pick some form, because recently his shots have been going wide and he could be looking to be coming on the bench. Then not long later, we come so close again with a beautiful effort from Abdul, and it's a brilliant save from the Derby goalkeeper. But then, not long after, we get a counter-attack from one of Derby's corners, and we come straight up the other end. Ayew just doesn't have the pace, so he lays off to Mavididi, who finally gets his first goal with us in charge, and hopefully that is the start of a run where he can kick on and score more goals. And look how buzzing company he is. Even he knows that Mavididi needed that. And just before half-time, Derby rattle one off the crossbar, and then Yacob makes up a brilliant save straight after as Derby almost equalised. But then straight from that corner, Okoli handballs it and Derby are awarded a penalty. Diaz steps up and he scores. Jacob's so close to it, but he just can't reach to it. Half-time, we do make subs, bringing on Daka for Ayew, and we also bring on Ramsey for Mavididi to play on the left. But would these changes make the difference in this second half as Abdul comes flying down the right, who sees James free of space, takes it past the defender, back across to Daka. And just like that, Leicester take the lead 2-1 straight after the second half kickoff. Moments later, Abdul goes through on goal and smashes it off the crossbar as we come so close to making it 3-1. Then straight after, Yacob makes one of the greatest saves I've ever seen in career mode history. What a save that was. And then seconds later, Daka goes up the other end and gets his second of the game to put us 3-1 up and hopefully comfortably give us another 3 points. Then we do decide to make some more changes, bringing on Decordover-Reid and Thomas and Ramsey to kill the game. But then Aggieman does get one back for Derby to make it 3-2 with 10 minutes to go. But then in the 89th minute, Decordover-Reid turns, smashes it, and it hits a Derby's player's arm, awarding Leicester a penalty. And as he won the penalty, I decided to let him take it, with company watching on, hoping for a big goal here to settle the win, and he does, straight down the middle to give us all 3 points at home in the Midlands derby, which will help us climb the table up to 12th going into the new year. And with that, the full-time whistle went, and it was a massive 3 points for Leicester, which was a much-needed game as the fans can leave the ground happy and enjoy the rest of the New Year's. And in the next episode, the first game will be Sheffield United away. With the January transfer window coming up, I have got some players on the shortlist, so let me know in the comments who we should sign, as we desperately need a striker. We've got Joveljic, 26 years of age, 75 overall, would do all right for us. Pablo Duran, young striker from the Spanish league, who could obviously got great potential. We've also got Ete Iyong, who has the most potential on all of this list out of all of them, so will cost us the most money. We have Gonzalo, which I know could be a bit unrealistic, but we could make it a loan instead, which could then allow for him to grow with us. And then we also have Stulic, which I think would be the best. 24 years of age, looks bold already. I could do with him up front. But let me know down in the comments who we should sign going into this January transfer window. So we also do have a few players' contracts who aren't willing to accept a new contract yet, but hopefully we can solve that in the future. Now, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in episode 2.